What makes you single so far? Write in the comments what you think about this. Enjoy the show. Story 1. I'm living with my parents during a horrible job market for software engineering where more people are being laid off than hired. And I don't have a car. And I broke up with my long-term girlfriend of over 2 years in January. And it left me emotionally unavailable for a few months. Until it was too late because everyone was graduating college and taking finals. Story 2. Honestly want to have someone understand why. It's mostly my personality. It's not even that I hate people. I just get mentally drained being around others for too long. Hell, I get out of it and somewhat miserable even playing online games with friends for more than 2-3 hours. I have to have lots of time alone. I just don't think it's compatible with that type of relationship. And that's not even mentioning how it's hard to even care for oneself and how dating is now, etc., etc. Story 3. Would be nice to have a girlfriend, but considering most relationships end in breakups, and when breakups happen, people hate each other, so it seems like a foolish thing to pursue because I don't want people I like to hate me. Also, I feel like I would just be another creepy, selfish asshole who's after their body if I ask a girl out because they probably just want to be left alone. Story 4. Trauma and practical reasons. I grew up in a home where people were always screaming and fighting, and I was always criticized. I had huge expectations placed on me because I'm the oldest, and my dad is pretty traditional. I was also beat as a kid and kind of felt like an outsider most of my life. I tend to be very careful around people, and I'm used to walking on eggshells. I basically have a very negative and suspicious view of people in general, and I'm very protective of my personal space. So, at the moment, I need healing. Also, I need to be financially stable. I don't have the time these days. Barely have time for myself as it is. Story 5. Just life and timing. I'm in my 20s and have been in relationships that ended because of job opportunities in different cities, moving abroad, or deciding to focus on their studies. I have a theory that if you're in a committed relationship, one person is the leader at this stage of life. The other person is the follower, which means that one person chooses where to go and what to do, and the other person loves that person and their life together enough that they go with them. I think that roles switch depending on where people are in life. So far, I haven't found a person willing to follow/lead me through life events. I think when I settle down in my life, I'll have an easier time finding a partner. Story 6. It's my choice. Like where I am at hookup culture is very free, so the level of seriousness or just normal decency is in the garbage level. I always ran across why should I change or wait for you when I can get any other person to do what I want or be on the same page as me in less time. Bye. And I'm like, well, bye, LOL. It just became so repetitive to build genuine connections and form a friendship that can build into a relationship, so I just stopped dating. I hate to feel like I have to put out for anything to go anywhere, and it hasn't even been 2 weeks, or we haven't been on more than one date. Also, the guys that seem to really be so sweet, kind, understanding, and patient are always married, and when I find that I'm out, I'm like, damn, it's time to move along. So I have come to accept that this is, and I have adjusted my life accordingly. As a woman, I am a giver, a pleaser, a spoiler, and I am going to treat you how I treat me so damn good. I ain't just giving that to anyone or accepting less. So single life it is, and I have to say I'm doing it well. Edit. Oh, and I always got the you're just different or not what I expected, and I immediately know what that means, LOL. Story 7. I'm sick of men and their narcissistic, manipulative bullshittery. I'm so tired of putting in effort, love, and all my soul into a relationship that is one-sided. I'm not your mother. I am not your plaything. I'm a human being that deserves respect and love. I'm so done. I can't keep doing this anymore. And after the last one took my precious baby dog of 4 years, I will never trust another man again. I will never accept a "it's not all men" statement because fucking Christ, I'm tired. And it is all men from where I'm standing. Story 8. I had 3 exes in a row and currently a roommate who have treated me like a bank money tree maid and personal servant. 2 of the exes cheated on me like their life depended on it. They all abused me too. Non-physical abuse, tons of financial abuse. It's so much more than just this. They didn't start like that. X1 took 2 years, X2 was 8 years together, 5 years after marriage, and X3 I knew over 18 hours, but it only took 5 mows for him to drop the facade. With my roommate, we started living together summer 2022. She was fine until summer 2023. I've saved up to move without my roommate and live alone, because I can't trust people to not be POS. Yes, it has taken this long to save up, or else I would have moved out sooner. I attract this type like bugs to a light bulb at night. I have no idea how to trim the light bulb off. I am single and in therapy to work on myself, to hopefully put a stop to this pattern. Unless I can figure it out and fix it, I'll never remarry, live with anyone, and/or financially help out ever again. Note, I was raised to be subservient and a people pleaser. This wasn't just by my parents. Society, my parents' adult friends, other adults in my life, my exes, my peers, etc. reinforced this. Story 9. Last time I introduced a man to my parents, they invited him over as a surprise for my birthday, 10 months after I'd broken up with him. So I've kind of steered clear of having to introduce anyone to them since, and am hesitant to get involved until I'm out of their house. I also started therapy about a year ago, and have learned that I'm pretty unsure of who I am as a person, since I've been so used to pretending to be who people want me to be, rather than being myself for the longest time, so not dragging anyone else into my life till I've sorted that out. And finally, it's really hard to find a partner in the kink community when you're socially awkward and afraid of going to events by yourself. Story 10. Combination of factors, or as one famous YouTube physician likes to say, it's multifactorial. 1. Lived and worked in a number of different places, so periodic uprooting was one factor. 2. There were some fundamental relationship issues which I addressed through therapy and reading. 3. Stage of life. Right now I'm working on a business-related thing that I had always wanted to work on. Earlier in life, I didn't have the wherewithal to do it. However, the downside is that at the moment, I wouldn't want to date anyone while going through that professional upheaval. Interestingly, however, in my current city, I see a lot of women, I'm a guy, who also have moved from all over due to jobs and are trying to reach out and connect in their own travel-related loneliness. It's kind of cool and reassuring that a lot of us are in this position, and I've seen people be much more receptive to connection than, say, 15 years ago. Just my own experience, though. Story 11. I was super fat like all of school, so had negative confidence and self-esteem. Fast forward to now. I'm 23, lost the weight built muscle, lost my hair GGs, which doesn't help, and I have loose skin, which I can't stand. But I also have no clue how to talk to people that I don't have to talk to, if that makes sense. For example, I can talk to coworkers, male or female, perfectly fine. But like, how the hell do you approach someone without being a creep or annoying them? And then I have to hold a conversation with someone I literally know nothing about. Life is hard. Story 12. Choice. I'd rather focus on building myself up and living a stable life than try to do all that with someone who is either satisfied with where they are when they shouldn't, solely depend on me, or want to take away what I've earned. On top of that, though, it's generally just harder to find people with similar interests who aren't obsessed with social media or weird gender roles. I'm sorry, I'm not going to hold a door open for you every time. Be independent and open it yourself every now and then. I've been doing that my whole life. You can too. Story 13. Never have the guts to ask out boys I like, and no decent guy has ever approached me, so guess I'm just ugly, because guys sure go after looks. Only validation I have is dating apps, which I know doesn't count. And also, I just think asking out someone in my college would just make things awkward after the rejection, since I'd have to face them every other day. Don't know how it's so easy in the web series. And don't really go out besides college. Story 14. Combo of fear of rejection and seeing in myself the things that made relationships nuclear for my parents. I've made great strides in both of these areas, but they both still ring true, especially the latter. My parents are both very codependent people, and as a result have found themselves in long-term relationships or marriages with people who are wrong for them on every level. The reality for me is that if someone were to show romantic interest in me, there's a pretty good shot I'd convince myself that they are my soulmate purely because they are someone who showed interest in me. That has already led me into some rough situations. And again, I see what it did to my parents, so to me, it's better to not go around searching for someone and instead trust that I'll know when it's worth pursuing. That said, I also acknowledge that my chosen route also painstakingly attempts to avoid rejection, so I have to acknowledge that I am also taking the path of least resistance in that regard. I just do my best to weigh if I'm doing things as a means to keep myself from diving in head first in the shallow end of a budding relationship, or if I'm just dressing it up that way to avoid the possibility of rejection. Story 15. Attachment issues. Afraid of being loved and heartbroken, if that makes sense. My looks and being very insecure doesn't help. I don't even like looking at myself in the mirror, lol. My mental. Right now, I just feel like someone wouldn't actually even like me, especially because I'm a plus-sized woman and I'm 27, so my hopes for finding someone is already down the drain. I don't even love myself, so I don't think I could actually love someone else right now, and I'm not sure if I ever will. Story 16. I am too ambitious to a point in which I can't really trust many females. I'm extremely careful on what women I should associate with. Looks are great, but my preferred traits are intelligence, loyalty, and honesty. I believe in the idea, you become who you surround yourself with, and this definitely includes relationships. If I start dating a lazy drug addict woman, then inevitably, I will become just like her if I don't take care of myself. Real men are wise when choosing a partner. A wise decision leads to a wise life. Story 17, I've given my all twice. Once for 11 years and another for 18. I was loyal and extremely focused on the relationship. I had no desire to even look at another person in a romantic way while I was in the relationship. I did my share. I worked, cooked, and even helped mow the lawn. I was out there handing them wrenches when they were working on cars. My family was my life. I wasn't theirs. I absolutely do not have the energy to do it again. When I left my ex 12 years ago, I had no idea that I would still be single today. I didn't plan it this way, but I'm happier than I ever was in a relationship. I'm not against it, but I'm not out there looking for it. I'm good. Story 18. I didn't have much opportunity dating during my teenage years because I went to a same-sex school, so I had a late start to learning how to date. Every relationship I've had has been short because there is something missing, and each time it takes a while to learn what that something is. I guess I am really used to being single, so I wait until I find someone super special to let into my life, which takes a lot of time to find. I don't regret it too much. I value the people I have loved so much because of it. Story 19. My ex never worked because she had endometriosis. She had a part-time stocking gig at a dollar store because her friend was the manager, and now, as far as I know, she's still unemployed and still needs future surgeries. When her dad dies early from a life of smoking, drinking, drugs, strokes, and heart attacks, she will be stuck living with family and not working, or she'll be homeless or a prostitute and likely will kill herself, as she has a history of self-harm. The reason I'm single is because I can imagine spending 12 years of time on someone I loved only to be evicted and have a restraining order put in place against me. I lived with her, fed her, spent time with her, went to school for her, worked multiple jobs at once for her so we could have a future living together on our own. I don't have the time or energy left to become friends with a woman I don't know, make her like me enough to want to live with me, fuck me, and do things together. I want companionship, but I can't afford a girlfriend anymore. And I've always thought of myself as having a family one day, but I refuse to marry a woman I'm a world where they can easily take everything you worked for your entire life by deciding to divorce me. People don't act like they want relationships. Everyone's out of fuck on Tinder and go their own separate ways. Story 20. I seem to attract addicts and broken people. I have one LTR that wasn't a complete collection of red flags, made my babies with her, and then I screwed that one up. Every other LTR and even short-term became total F-ups post-relationship, except baby mama. I'm able to anchor normalcy into their lives, but they all eventually choose chaos. I'm not an addict, so I find it off that I attract them. But I was broken and have been strong on my self-help journey and therapy. Still attract red flags. Story 21. We're all human. With this, we all are flawed to some extent. It's how flawed are you willing to deal with if you feel too flawed still yourself. This economy and cost of living doesn't help at all. Especially the norms surrounding women requiring you to pay the first date when you can't afford jack. It's exhausting to even get to that point. It's hard to be a man or woman in today's society. But for dating, I believe women showing clear interest would help with ending stupid dating apps. Starting a singles run club near you is a good idea as well. They're great. That's my rant on it. I love women and dating, but getting to that point is a headache in and of itself. Story 22 chronologically. Shitty family, parents, siblings, and large extended family. Severe trust issues started early and got exponentially worse as I got older. Constant bullying and lack of decent friendships through my school years growing up. Morphing into the constant 3rd, 5th, 7th, and I shit you not, 9th wheel in my high school friend group. The two first guys I was interested in my 20s, were both narcs and destroyed my faith in guys. One of them tried to drug me so he and his friend could share, if you want to know how bad it got. Moved to a city where I had no support and was all alone. Went into survival mode and became horribly wary. Started having panic attacks if a guy showed interest. I've now been on my own so long, I don't think I could ever live comfortably with another person. I doubt I'd be a good roommate. I'm not ugly or unappealing, but because of my safety and trust issues, letting someone close probably isn't possible. Last but not least, I would rather be alone than with someone, and lonely. At least if I'm single, I'm being honest about it. Story 23. Divorce and it's hard to date. People really judge you these days for any little thing. I mean shit, I'm a well-known, morally decent hacker. I brought down North Korea's internet, respected in my field, sold an advanced R&D company, have my shit together and try my best to be a kind dude. And still I get treated like trash by so many people for whatever little reason. Like the shirts I wear, normal t-shirts, my Myers-Briggs profile. Some people are scared of me because of the hacking a country thing. Okay, that one's fair. For being divorced once a long time ago, not being tall enough, the list goes on. Dating is horrible for self-esteem. Luckily, I have pretty good self-esteem and I'm proud of all I've done, but goddamn, it's rough out there. In other words, what makes me single is motherfucking people pee. Story 24. The way love is ultra altruistic. I don't want anyone to love me anymore because no one can love me better than myself. I love people selflessly. Right now, I'm loving someone who doesn't love me back the same way. She loves me, but not romantically. She can't because she likes men. And it's okay for me. I love her because of who she is, because of her heart, because it's beautiful there. And she lets me know everything. She told me everything. She keeps telling me everything that she feels, and I can't stop loving that. I don't care if all we can have are hugs. That's the kind of love I feel comfortable feeling. I don't want to desire anyone. I don't want to need anyone. I don't want to be crying for anyone. I don't want to care if someone is seeing someone else. I don't want someone to be imprisoned in me. I want the people that I love to be free. I want her to seek her happiness and live her happiness. And I will be there giving all the support. Also, it helps that I can't feel any libido at all. Story 25. I don't tolerate men's behavior in which they can do what they want and don't seem to care how you feel about it. Then the second you do the same thing as them, they leave. Example, I beg him to go to a party for weeks at a time. He's always tired. The second I have night shift, he goes out to party, telling me minutes beforehand. I blow up, rightfully. Then he wants to pack my shit when I say I'll just go out next time without him if he doesn't feel like going. Never-ending cycle. Story 26. Just getting out of an almost 5-year relationship. She brought another guy into my house more than once while I was away for training for the army. Tale as old as time. She told me they were just friends and nothing happened, but didn't have a good reason why she didn't ask or tell me. I found out from my landlord a couple months after coming home. I thought I understood her situation, never living on her own, or being away from someone for so long. I went on a deployment for 11 months shortly after, and realized the trust was gone. I've changed a lot in the last 3 years, and she never really did. So now I'm focusing on myself, getting through school and getting my dog soon so it'll be me and her against the world for a while. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Be sure to write comments and share your stories.